Are your vocals sounding thin and not able to punch through your mix? Well, vocal doubling might be a technique that you want to consider. So in this video, I'm going to let you know what a vocal double is and how you can create one here in GarageBand on your iPad or your iPhone. So let's go. Hi, my name is Pete. This is Studio Live today, where I help you create, record, and release your best music. And if recording vocals is one of the things that you do in your music and you're having trouble getting your vocals to really pop through and really cut through your mix, then using vocal doubling is a really good thing to try. Now, what is vocal doubling? Well, it's simply recording multiple takes of the same vocal track and then layering them together. But you're not just going to put two of the same and then put them at the same volume and do the same thing. No, we need to adjust some volumes and do some tweaking to make it sit nicely underneath our original vocal so that it's going to complement it. It's just going to thicken up that vocal sound and make your vocals really pop. So let's jump in now into GarageBand here on my iPhone and I'll show you how we can get it done. So here is one I prepared earlier. This is a track that I'm working on at the moment. You can see here that I've already prepared and recorded 1, 2, 3, 4 vocal tracks. Now these aren't backing tracks or harmony tracks. These are 4 exact identical, well, as close to identical as I could sing them, versions of the same track. Now in a previous video I showed you how we can comp or combine these 4 tracks together into one master vocal track. That's one method you might want to use. The other method you might want to use to enhance your vocals is doubling, and that's what we're going to look at here today. Now doubling is a very common practice. Dave Grohl in Foo Fighters uses it on a lot of tracks and it's a really good sound. A lot of other bands, a lot of other performers use vocal doubling to thicken up their vocals. It's a good thing to do, but there's some things to keep in mind when you are doing a vocal double, which I'll show you here. So let's take a listen to the track as it is at the moment.
I crossed the road and never even look one way. I always seem to know the perfect thing to say.
So not bad, like it sits well, it's okay there. We could adjust some compression and we could get the volume up a little bit and make it pop out even more. But what I'm going to do here is let's grab one of these others. I'm just going to pick vocal 4 here, just for fun. And let's add this vocal in. So if I bring it in at the exact same volume, let's listen and hear what that sounds like.
I crossed the road and never even look one way.
Not great, right? You're saying, Pete, why would we do that? That just sounds like there's 2 people singing. It sounds bad. It sounds fake. What's going on? Yes, so you don't want to do your double at the same volume. Unless that's the effect you're going for and you want to like pan them left and right and get some sort of really weird, wacky effect, then you don't want to do that. What you do want to do is come in here, not do that, is come in here and dial in the vocal to a lower level. So what I'll do is I'll play it back and now I'll adjust the vocal as we go and I'll just get it to sit nicely at the level that I would usually add a vocal double.
I crossed the road and never even look one way. I always seem to know the perfect thing to say. And I don't even wave at other cars when I pass by. Don't have the time, you know I'm such a special guy.
So that's around about right. So what I've got is it's about half or maybe even a third of the volume of the original lead vocal. So this one's still carrying the lead, but this is just sitting underneath. And this does a couple of things. So it thickens up the sound. So you're not really going to hear 2 sounds. If you're hearing 2 distinct sounds, it's going to sound a bit fake and you've probably got your volume too high. So put the volume where you can hear it just a little bit so that it's just adding to the thickness of the vocal and it's making it pop a little bit more. But it does a few other things. Because you've got that second track in there, it's going to disguise a few of the little imperfections in some of your notes as well. So it will help you with the tuning of your notes. And it also adds a little bit more definition around the vocal. So instead of using delay and reverb and some more artificial sounding things, it's like a version of delay. Now, you might be saying, hey, Pete, can't we just grab this track and duplicate it? So we could come here, we could duplicate, we could copy this one, and then we could paste it down here and go like that, and then just bring this one into the mix. Well, no, and I'll show you why, because if we do that, let's just play this back now.
I crossed the road and never even look one way. I always seem to know the perfect...
Hopefully you can hear there that all that is doing is boosting the volume. So if you've got the exact same piece of audio, all it's going to do is boost up the volume. Whereas if you bring in a different take of the same vocal, the natural differences in the way you're going to sing it are actually going to create that double effect. So let's play the other version now.
perfect thing to say, and I don't even wave at other cars when I pass by.
So you can hear there that just a slight difference in the tuning, a slight difference in the timing is what creates the double sound. Now the other thing that folks will say is, well, that's okay, just come in here, and to create that difference you just want to like zoom all the way in and then just delay this one. Don't hold it down. Delay this one by like a tiny little fraction, like a couple of milliseconds, and then play it back, and that'll sound great, won't it? Well, let's take a listen and see.
I cross the road and never even look one way. I always seem to know.
So, I mean, it's not terrible, but it's a bit artificial, and you know what, if you want to delay like that, just put a really fast delay on there. So if you just want to use the exact same audio, there's really no point duplicating and then adding it there. You can just use a delay to actually do the same effect. So that's just a couple of other things to keep in mind. Now the last thing is just a few additional tips. Now you might not want to have your doubled vocal on the entire time, so this song's a bit different because it doesn't really have a chorus as such, but if you had a song that had a chorus that you might want to bring the vocal double in for, you can either automate that double in or you can just cut bits out of it, and I've got videos about editing and automation and all of the rest of it, which I will link up the top and down below in this video as well. And then the other thing that you might want to do is to actually change the effects and the processing that you have on this. So that's a cool thing that you can do if you wanted to go kind of nuts here. Let's just do this real quick. We'll come in here and say we wanted to make our vocal double like really intense. So what we would do is maybe we would come in and let's just put like crazy amounts of echo and reverb on this double. Because we're only dialing in a small amount, then we can actually change up the effects and it will actually still sound okay, as long as we don't have it too high in the volume, too high in the mix.
My friends are telling me that I should be ashamed, but I'm not even listening, 'cause I'm never to blame.
So that's probably gone a little bit overboard, but you get the point there, that if you wanted to add in a little bit of vocal, especially because, a little bit of different sort of delay or echo or reverb, especially because you can't automate effects here in GarageBand, what you can do is put a separate track there that's a lower volume with your intense effects and just bring those in at certain parts. So if you want that delay on the last word, like in the old 90s punk songs, you can just cut the audio and just put some really ridiculous delay on another track just on that last word to enhance that. So hopefully that gives you a few ideas about how we can use doubled vocals. And again, you can use doubles, triples, quadruples, doesn't matter. You can go nuts with this stuff, but it just gives you a way to thicken up your vocals and to give you a little bit more pop in your vocals without having to do a whole lot of additional processing or effects, and gives you a pretty good sound here in GarageBand. So there you go, a very simple technique, and not something that you're going to use on every single track, but it's a really good one to have in your mixing and recording toolkit, so that if you are finding that your vocals are just too thin and you just need to get them to pop, then maybe just recording that second or even third take and layering those vocals in there is going to help you. Thanks again for watching. If you've got any comments, questions or suggestions, you can leave them in the comments below, and I'll see you on the next video. Hey, thanks for sticking around. If you're recording your vocals and you want some tips on how to get the good vocal recording, there are 2 videos linked down below that will help you out with that. You can also subscribe to the channel by clicking on the Studio Live Today icon in the top right corner, and head over to studiolivetoday.com for even more audio goodness.